Weight cuts are a part of any professional sport that has a weight category. Obviously, having more mass is generally better in the majority of sports. You've got more strength. Um, you're working with you're working with more, so you can develop more strength potential. This is why we separate the sport into different weight categories to try and level that playing field. And so, because of this, there's always going to be some level of weight cutting involved. Now, you can make arguments how much weight cutting you want, whether you want to have 24-hour weigh-ins, whether you want to have weigh-ins the morning of the competition. That's a debate to be had. But logistically speaking, a lot of the time with really bigger comps, it's very difficult to do all the weigh-ins the same day as the competition. So they have to be, say, the day before, or in some cases, even more than one day before. I don't think Devon can cut 10 kilos in the next, well, now less than 7 days. In my experience, and obviously I'm a lower body weight than Devon. I usually sit, in the past I'd usually sit around 82, 83, but these days I'm sitting, usually my walk around weight is more like 85, 86, and I cut into the under 80 kilo category. And I'll do that across 2 weeks is what I find. So far is what I've found to be kind of the comfortable amount. I'll cut so this time around I started 2 weeks out. I was 85.5, so looking the exact same as New South Wales champs. Cut about 20% calories, started thinking about having a little bit less carbs 2 weeks out. Then I got the shits and I dropped a heap of weight anyway, and I ended up at 83 way too early. So then I started refeeding a bit. But normally I'd cut 20-ish% calories, start thinking about a little bit less carbs, and I would get down to 83 about on the Wednesday. And then the last 3 kilos can come off through both water weight and through just stopping eating. And I'll usually lose about 1.5 kilos per day in those final 2 days. But back when I weighed 83, I didn't need to do 2 days of no food to lose those 3 kilos. I could be just doing no carbs and I'd do 1 day of no water and I'd lose the 3 kilos. Why is that? Well, the shorter your cut is, the more weight you're going to lose. The fastest part of the cut is always the initial bit of weight. So for Devon to have started from such a high point, like I think he was nearing 15, 20 kilos over, he's already starved himself. He's cut out carbs. He was talking about gnawing on bones and just eating meat for a while. So his carbs have been low for quite a while. And he's talking about still losing another 10 kilos in the final week. That's not possible. He's already dropped a lot of the gut weight, the food, the weight of the food that's just in your guts. He's already dropped that. And he's dropped the associated water weight that came from him depleting his glycogen stores from stopping his carb intake. So that's already gone. So, like in my case, at the start, if I'm at the start of a cut, I can cut 3 kilos still eating. But if I've already cut a bit of weight, like when I'm cutting from 85.5, like this time around, cutting the 3 kilos at the end is actually a bit of an effort. Like I have to stop eating for 2 days and it's like a day and a half of no water. So it's a bit more of a struggle. There's no way he can drop 10. I know he's a higher body weight. You could go into craziness of like doing diuretics to try and get out all the minerals and the associated water weight that comes with that. But if he's already depleted, like there's only so much you can lose, and it's getting to the point where I think it's going to become too dangerous. Like doing this kind of extreme dehydration is not good for your kidneys. It puts a big stress on your kidneys, and some other parts of your body. It's not healthy, and that's actually part of the reason I've stopped doing salt loads. I would measure my blood pressure. I'd see my blood pressure spike as I did the salt load, and then you cut out all the salt. You start drinking even more water than you were during the salt loading phase to flush through osmosis all of the salt and then more out, so that you end up, your body as a whole is less salty than it was prior to you ingesting heaps of salt. But all that, dealing with all that salt and stuff is terrible for your body. And I actually felt worse on comp day when I did it. So I've stopped doing that, and I still find I can lose similar amounts of weight anyway, just doing the water cut itself rather than doing any kind of salt load. 10 kilos in 7 days when you've already lost a lot of weight and you've cut all carbs, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think this is going to be a title match. If Devon does it, he's going to be on death's door, honestly. Like, I think it's really dangerous for him, especially at, this would be a hard enough cut when you're in your early 20s. Is he 50 now, or he's nearly 50? He should have cut earlier. Never leave it till the last second to do cuts. You're always better off having a little bit extra in the tank. Let me know what you guys think. Do you reckon he's able to cut another 10 kilos in the final 10 days? Is he going to be able to rehydrate? If so, and get back to like a level of performance on the day? I've heard that endurance often lacks. If you do big cuts like that, you're not going to last very well, particularly in things like fight sports for really, really big cuts. Which I guess arm wrestling is a kind of fighting sport, but maybe not to the cardiovascular degree of other. Yeah, let me know. Do you think he's going to make it? Is he gonna lose because he's so depleted? If he does, or is he going to get down to maybe like 110 and say, no, this is too extreme, I can't do it. Let's still pull, but it's not going to be for a title anymore.